Hi everybody, I'm Trin Johnson and welcome to Dust in My Eye. Today I am going to paint a swan out on a lake, and I took this picture a few weeks ago and it's very simple and should be pretty quick. You can see that I already have it sketched in, and I am going to use a little masking fluid. The kind I'm using today is PBO drawing gum. And I'm going to use a ruling pen to put it on because this works really nicely. You can get a very controlled line depending on how you squeeze. The tighter I make it, the smaller the line and the more delicate I can get. See, makes a really nice line. So I am going to just get this in. Real quick. Okay, couple things about masking fluid. I went a little past there. I'm not going to take it off now. If I want to take it off, I have to wait till it dries, and then I could rub that off. Because if I try and take it off now, I'll just make a big mess. Other thing about masking fluid is you can use a brush, or you can use a stick. You can use anything to put it on. But if you're going to use a brush, put some soap on it first so you can clean the brush up easily and clean the brush right away. Then I'm just going to mask off a little bit of these cattails. I've popped the picture up in the corner so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm working with. I painted this in my Plan April sketchbook and I thought it turned out really nicely, so I thought I would do it again and record it this time. Just want a little bit there. Okay, now what I want to do is a little splatter. So in order to do that, I need to go get some soap on my brush. So I will be right back. I grabbed a couple cheaper brushes to use. I preferred to do that. I just didn't know if I had any upstairs here. So we're going to try this one. It's a dagger style. Let's see what that does. Hit it on something, see if I get a different mark. I was looking for maybe a little more direction, but I didn't really get that. So I am going to play with some of these and pull them out so I can get some bigger marks along with the spatter. Okay, now we're just going to let this dry completely and then we'll go on. So everything is nice and dry, a little sticky, but it's always sticky. So it's a little tricky to know when it's dry. And I am going to just start putting some blue down. I have some blues mixed up here. I think I want this one. I have some cobalt, which I'm going to start laying in. And I have some ultramarine. I have some phthalo blue, just to get some different color in here. And I have some navy blue that is a Holbein color. And I like them all having their own chance to mingle on the paper. I think it makes a really interesting background. I don't know if you can hear it, but I've got a really noisy goose outside my window. There we go. Okay. And now we wait for it to dry. Okay, everything is dry now. I did go back and give it another layer of blue because I wanted it deeper. But for the sake of time, I did not record that part. So now everything's dry, and I am going to use my little eraser tool here to get off the masking fluid. You can use your finger. You can use the masking fluid itself. Once you get it started, you can just kind of use that to kind of work it off. Some paper does not like masking fluid, so make sure before you start, for this particular kind of technique method, that you check to make sure that the paper you're using can tolerate masking fluid. It's not the masking fluid itself, it's the masking fluid removal. That's the tricky part, that sometimes it takes the paper up with it, and nothing is more annoying. However, sometimes you can kind of fudge it anyway, even if it kind of takes up the paper. Now I can see that I was a little light on my coating right there. Yeah, see, it's pulling up a little bit of the paper right there. So I have to be kind of careful. I am working on Soho paper from Jerry's Artorama, I think is who has it. It's these little 5x7 sheets of 100% cotton, cold pressed, 140 pound. I really like the way they work. But yeah, it is definitely pulling a little bit right there. Just right there. That little area. But what I'm going to do is take my X-Acto knife. See how there's a flap there? And I'm just going to trim that right there. And it's a little rough. in that spot. You can feel with your finger, with your hand, if you've missed any. It's pretty obvious. Okay. It didn't seem to pull on his head, but that looks a little bit like it might have had a little problem. A little bit right there. Now he has a little bit of blue on his back that I'm just going to see if I can take a clean paintbrush and just mute that a little bit. I don't mind it being a little bit light blue, but I don't really want a spot. It's a little better. If it's phthalo blue is very staining, and if that's what I got on there, then it's not going to come up completely. Okay, so because I had lifted some of the paper up, I thought I would try this multi-sizing that I've had just for this kind of occasion in my back pocket. I forget who recommended it, but it basically replaces the sizing on the paper, or makes the paper less absorbent, is what it says. So I put some of this on the parts of the swan that had come up a little bit, and then you have to wait for it thoroughly dry, and that's where we're at. So we're going to see how she works. I thought, why not give it a go? So the little swan guy is got a dark, shadowy kind of neck, so we're going to do that. A little white down his side that's still like a highlight down it, where the sun is reflecting off its neck. I think that see, you can see I've still got a little piece right there. I think our neck might be a little off, but it's okay. I want this a little darker. It's a little bit of a gray blue. A little bit of a dirty orange beak. And he's got a little bit of dark around his beak, but we're going to do that in a minute. We're not going to do that right now. And then the cattails, don't want them full. I want to leave some space around them a little bit for a little bit lighter color. Kind of hard to tell which are my water highlights and which ones are my cattails. I'm going to drop a little bit of dark in them. Darker there. I want some darkest on my palette black that I can get. And I'm just going to paint his little black face. That makes him look like a swan. Okay. Now I'm going to take this really, really thin brush and I'm going to work on my cattails. Obviously not really important if these are exactly like the drawing or the picture photograph. Okay. Now using that little brush again, I just want a little bit of a lighter color. Come in and hit some spots around the cattails so that their highlights aren't quite bright white. Okay, next I want a really pale blue, and I have this what's it called? Royal blue. I forget who makes this one, but it's very much a periwinkle kind of color, and I want to just come in and tone down some of these bright white highlights, make them a little more realistic. I don't know, I guess that's not really the right word, just not so obnoxiously bright. Puzzle. Then I want to come in and get some of the dark lines, and I've got a combination of royal blue and French ultramarine here. I want to just hit some spots with this. Little dry brush kind of thing going. I'm not sure if the sizing helped much. It didn't really hurt either. So now I'm going to get some white to spatter with, because I want to get some more spatter on top of that. Okay, I let this dry, and I'm going to move some things out of the way here. And I have some white gouache that I've added some water to. It's hard to get exactly the consistency you want. You kind of just got to play. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I've got what I want. No, I think I want it a little thinner. Now, I don't really want a dot of gouache there. I'm okay with a line of it. So I'm just going to smooth that out. Get rid of the one right there. I don't really like this little guy in here, but I think that was from before, so I'm going to just add a little cobalt blue on there. Because I don't really care where else they landed. I just wanted to make sure they weren't right on my swan. And we are going to remove the tape because that's the best part of the whole thing. And also, you've got to be really careful removing tape to make sure that your paper can handle it. Otherwise, I would recommend using a hairdryer on it before you try and remove it, because it releases the adhesive. And you have better luck. There. Well, thanks for watching. I hope that you give this a try. It really isn't very difficult, and I think it produces a pretty satisfying result pretty easily. So, till next time. Please check out my Etsy shop, where I have prints of my artwork along with some originals and all my cute little monsters for sale. And it would be really great if you could hit that like button and the subscribe button, because I'm really trying to grow my channel and that helps so much. You can also buy me a coffee. There's a link below in the description, and that also helps my channel. I really, really would appreciate that too. Hope to see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.